What's going on, you guys? Welcome back. This is Ron with your second stimulus check update and second stimulus package update. Top congressional Democrats are demanding that stimulus package negotiations be restarted. Mark Meadows and Mitch MCConnell are scheduled to discuss the stimulus package strategy later on this afternoon. And $3,600 has already been approved for homeowners, as well as $3,200 has been approved for renters as well. I'm going to share the details on all of this information with you guys, so you definitely want to stay until the end of this video so that you don't miss out on any of this information. But I'd first like to say welcome back to all of my subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. And for those of you guys who are brand new to the channel, my name is Ron. We cover all things personal finance, investing, and of course, stimulus checks and stimulus package updates. So if you have not already, definitely subscribe to the channel and tap the notification bell so that you know as soon as I release new videos and content. But otherwise, let's get into the content. I've got very good news about a new vaccine that may be available for us in the next couple of weeks. Now, initially, we were told that we probably wouldn't see a vaccine available for the public until early 2021, but it looks like we may actually have one before year end. Early data shows that Moderna's virus vaccine is 94.5% effective. The drug maker Moderna announced on Monday that its virus vaccine was 94.5% effective, joining Pfizer as a front runner in the global race to contain a global ranging pandemic. Both companies, Moderna and Pfizer, plan to apply within weeks to the Food and Drug Administration for emergency authorization to begin vaccinating the public. Officials said that the two companies could produce enough vaccines for a little more than 20 million people in the United States by sometime in December, with the first dose going to the people who are the highest risk, like healthcare workers, emergency medical workers, and frail residents of nursing homes. Some states and cities are reinstating lockdowns, restricting gatherings, issuing mask mandates, setting curfews for bars and restaurants, and closing schools once again. Hospitals in some areas are overwhelmed, scrambling to find enough beds for the severely ill. Major grocery chains like Kroger and Wegmans have begun reimposing limits on purchases of household supplies like paper towels and tissues. Top congressional Democrats, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, as well as Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, are demanding the approval of a very desperately needed stimulus package for the American people. The two top congressional Democrat leaders are still pushing for the $2.4 trillion stimulus package, which was originally passed by the House in October. And Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are pushing for another round of stimulus checks and reinstatement of the federal unemployment insurance benefits during the lame duck session before Christmas. But here's a quick clip from Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. Let me just share this with you guys right quick.
The Republicans should stop their shenanigans about an election that President Trump has already lost and focus their attention on the immediate issue at hand, providing relief to a country living through the COVID health and economic crises. This election was maybe more a referendum on who can handle COVID well than anything else. The Donald Trump approach was repudiated, the Joe Biden approach was embraced, and that's why we think there's a better chance to get a bill in the lame duck if only the Republicans would stop embracing the ridiculous shenanigans that Trump is forcing them to do, that this, in the election, and focus on what people need.
This is a red alert and all hands on deck, but it should have been a long time ago. The president and the Republicans in Congress have ignored, by delay, distortion, denial, deaths have been caused. And what are they doing now? Continuing to ignore in spite of these numbers. They're engaged in an absurd circus right now, refusing to accept reality. The Republicans are shamefully proceeding without recognizing what our responsibility is and making it even harder to address the massive health, and economic crisis that we're facing.
All right, guys, so you heard it directly from Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, as well as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, that they're effectively putting all the pressure on the Senate, specifically the Senate Republicans, to get a bill passed. And according to Chuck Schumer, he believes that the election was mainly won because overall America believed that Joe Biden would be more effective at handling the virus compared to President Trump. But I'd love to know from you guys, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Joe Biden will actually be able to do a better job at containing and managing the pandemic, the virus, compared to President Trump? Or are you confident that President Trump has probably done the best job that anyone can do? I'd love to know from you guys. And secondly, according to Chuck Schumer, he believes that the presidential election was one, as a result of who the American people believed would be able to handle the virus better. Do you guys believe that the virus was the main reason why Joe Biden won the election? Or do you guys believe that there were greater factors that determined the outcome of the election outside of the pandemic? I'd love to know from you guys. Nancy Pelosi was reelected as Speaker of the House, and the voting was conducted this year virtually due to the pandemic, of course. Nancy Pelosi, 80 years old, did not face any challenge for her post, but she will also need to secure a simple majority, 218 Democratic votes, by the full House of Representatives in January to be sworn in again as Speaker. And I have received very mixed opinions from you guys in the comments about Nancy Pelosi. Many of you guys felt like, maybe she didn't handle negotiations as well as she could have. Some people felt like she should have taken the deal previously. And also many people have commented on her age, kind of pretty much saying, hey, when is she going to give it up? But according to Nancy Pelosi, she answered you guys on that one. She indicated after the vote that the upcoming term would be her last. So I guess we can expect to see Nancy Pelosi's best foot forward during this last term of hers. Nancy Pelosi went on to say, as we go forward with liberty and justice for all, we must do so listening to the American people, listening to each other with respect, acting to unify. Joe Biden is a unifier, so that will make it easier for us, remembering the guidance of our founders. Also, we were expecting a vote from the Senate Republicans to take place on another stimulus package this week. That has yet to occur. However, Mitch MCConnell and Mark Meadows, by the way, has recently gotten over the virus, are expected to meet later today to discuss the strategies associated with the next stimulus package. So I will provide you guys an update on that as soon as it becomes available. President-elect Joe Biden made his first economic appearance since the election in November. He advised that we are on the cusp of a very dark winter and is demanding that Congress pass an immediate stimulus package. Federal unemployment insurance benefits have already run out. State unemployment insurance benefits are running out for many people. And at the end of the year, the evictions moratorium is expiring. However, President Joe Biden is convinced that we can provide immediate stimulus relief to the American people, and he's calling on Congress to make this happen. In fact, let me share a quick clip with you guys from President-elect Joe Biden.
We all agreed that we want to get the economy back on track. We need our workers to be back on the job by getting the virus under control. We're going into a very dark winter. Things are going to get much tougher before they get easier. And that requires sparing no effort to fight COVID so that we can open our businesses safely, resume our lives, and put this pandemic behind us. It's going to be difficult, but it can be done. When we build back better, we'll do so with higher wages, including a $15 minimum wage nationwide, better benefits, stronger collective bargaining rights that you can raise a family on. That's how we build back the middle class better than ever. That's how we make sure workers are treated with the dignity and respect they deserve. More people may die if we don't coordinate. Look, as my chief of staff, Ron Klain, would say, who handled Ebola, the vaccine is important. It's of little use until you're vaccinated. So how do we get the vaccine? How do we get over 300 million Americans vaccinated? What's the game plan? It's a huge, huge, huge undertaking to get it done, prioritize those greatest in need, and working our way through it, and also cooperate with the World Health Organization and the rest of the world in dealing with this.
In spite of the lackluster progress that we've seen from our congressional leaders in response to the negotiations on stimulus checks and stimulus packages for the American people, Joe Biden does seem quite optimistic in terms of being able to get stimulus relief approved for the American people. In fact, we recently heard from Cedric Richmond. He said on Tuesday that a virus stimulus package, which Congress has been deadlocked since the summer, needs to be worked out by Christmas. I don't think anyone's going to argue with that one. We have a responsibility as a federal government to help the people, and I believe that we can get it done. We should get it done before Christmas. We should not wait to drop this on the lap of the next president. We are the United States Congress, the House, and the Senate, and we should get it done. Richmond's comments came at a press conference when he officially announced that he's leaving Congress to serve in a senior advisor role in President-elect Joe Biden's administration. I would definitely love to see a stimulus package pass sometime between now and Christmas, but we would definitely have to lean on President Trump to kind of make that one happen. Now, under Biden's stimulus package plan, it will include additional direct stimulus payments for the American people, but unfortunately, we don't know exactly how much those stimulus checks would be for, and we don't know if the qualifications for receiving those stimulus checks would change. The lockdowns are what has caused the unprecedented spike in unemployment, which has caused more than 20 million people to lose their jobs. Now, unfortunately, since the end of July, we did lose the federal unemployment insurance benefits, which were paying out $600 per week. We did temporarily receive $300 per week through the LWA program, which President Trump pushed through his use of the executive actions. However, Biden's plan doesn't go into specifics about how much funding would be available in terms of unemployment insurance benefits, so that one's kind of up in the air. However, based on what we saw in the HEROES Act as well as the HEALS Act, we would expect to see unemployment being reinstated somewhere around between $300 and $600 per week. Now, one huge addition that was not included in the CARES Act, nor was it included in the HEROES or the HEALS Act, under Biden's stimulus plan, he calls for an additional $200 per week to be added to the monthly payments that go to the Social Security recipients. And this component is massive here, especially for SSI recipients, SSDI, Social Security recipients. If you run the math on the Social Security payments that have been paid and you add and factor in for inflation, you're actually getting paid significantly less now through Social Security benefits than you were, say, 10 years ago. So this is long overdue. Now, we're hoping for another stimulus package to be passed for the American people, ideally sometime before Christmas. However, the federal government stimulus checks are not the only stimulus checks that are available. In fact, there are many things taking place on the state, local, and city level that, I've been doing my best to keep up with over the past several weeks. And I wanted to share this one with you guys. Iowa is actually adding an additional $9 million to federal funding to bolster state rental assistance after the initial $20 million was spent. And it looks like additional funding is coming. So this is already approved. However, additional funding is coming. It says here that the Iowa program providing short-term rental and mortgage assistance has received an infusion of $9 million to keep it going after its initial round of more than $20 million in funding has run low. The state allocated another $9 million from its share of CARES Act funding to the state's eviction and foreclosure prevention program on Thursday morning. According to Finance Authority spokesperson Ashley Jarrett, she said that we're carefully monitoring the program and will request additional funds if and when necessary, again, before the end of the year. Now, Iowa, as well as many other states, have received over $1 billion in stimulus money from the CARES Act. And, obviously that there are some federal stipulations that must be followed in terms of exactly how the states can use this money. However, many states have actually decided to provide this money to its residents. In fact, many states are obligated to spend this money before the end of the year. So I'm kind of expecting more and more state level, local, and city stimulus programs to be popping up. And as they do, I will definitely be sharing them with you guys. In fact, Iowa in total received $1.25 billion in funding through the federal CARES Act. Funds must go toward pandemic-related expenses from the calendar year. So this shows that money must be spent by the end of the year. Otherwise, it's kind of like use it or lose it. Might as well give it to your residents if possible. The state program allows renters or homeowners who have faced job loss, reduction in hours, or reduction in pay during the pandemic to receive as much as 4 months of assistance, up to a maximum of $3,200 per renter or $3,600 per homeowner. The state program allows renters or homeowners who have faced a job loss, reduction in hours, or reduction in pay during the pandemic to receive as much as 4 months of assistance, up to a maximum of $3,200 per renter or $3,600 per homeowner. Now, even if you have to use this money for rent or for your mortgage payment, this is just as good as cash. In fact, to me, this is probably even better than a traditional stimulus check. At $3,200, maybe $3,600, that's a substantial amount of money. The funding can be used to pay current rents as well as up to 2 months of missed rental payments dating back to April 1st. So with the eviction moratorium expiring at the end of December, this is extremely timely for thousands of Iowa residents. But anyway, guys, that is all for the stimulus check update and stimulus package update. I will continue to provide all of the latest updates on stimulus package and stimulus update related news, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.